Okay, now let's start with the third group, the third folder, 1C, which will hold the kinds of triangles. This will go on top of your folder. 1C will go on your top right corner in Roman numerals. And now it all 1C1 will go on your behind your card and behind the slip. This equilateral triangle will come on your slip, and this picture will come on your card, on top of your card in blue. Okay, so let's start. Let's draw the equilateral triangle. We have done the equilateral triangle before in our first set. Okay, so that's fine. We will need to do one more, and we'll need to include it in this set. So let's draw a straight line first. Mark a point. I have my 10 centimeters marked here on my compass, so that's a help. Okay, so now all I have to do is mark 10 here and 10 here and 10 here, and I get my equilateral triangle. As simple as that. Okay, and I just join these and I get my equilateral triangle. Okay, cut it off with your paper blade, paper knife, and then you get your equilateral triangle. Okay, with each side 10 centimeters. So this was your first figure of group 1C. Now we come to acute angled isosceles triangle. Now let's talk about triangles first of all. Triangles have 3 angles and 3 sides. Now when all the sides are equal, we call it an equilateral triangle, and automatically all the angles also become equal, and the total number of angles in a triangle is 180. So each one gets divided into 3. It gets divided into 3 and each one gets 60 degrees. So in an equilateral triangle you have 60 degrees, 60 degrees and 60 degrees, and all the sides will be equal. You can have a little miniature equilateral triangle also with maybe sides 1 centimeter. Still all the sides will be 1, 1, 1, and all the angles will still be 60 degrees. So the angles remain the same. These angles keep at 60 degrees, but you can have different kinds of different sizes of equilateral triangles. You can have big ones, you can have small ones. All these are equilateral triangles with all the sides equal. So this is your equilateral triangle. Now what do you mean by acute angle? Acute angle will be angles less than 90 degrees. Okay, so all angles less than 90 degrees are acute. All angles more than 90 degrees are obtuse. And in the middle, in between both of them, you have your 90 degrees, your right angle. Okay, so based on the sides and based on the angles, your classification of the triangles will happen. Now the second triangle that we are going to construct is an isosceles triangle. Isosceles means it has 2 sides equal. Out of the 3 sides, 2 sides are equal, the third side will be different. Unlike the equilateral where all the 3 were equal, now 2 of them are equal. When 2 are equal, we call them isosceles triangles. And in isosceles again you have acute angled and obtuse angle. You can have an obtuse angle isosceles also, and you can have an acute angle isosceles also. So let's see now how we will construct this one. In the acute angle isosceles, all the angles are going to be acute angles. Let's draw the base, mark a point, and we have to mark out 7 centimeters. Okay, so that gives us our base. And now we need to have these 2 sides 10 centimeters. It's very easy for us to do. We have this at 10, you mark it off at 10 and 10, and you get your acute angle isosceles triangle. So 2 sides are equal, it is called isosceles triangle, and all the angles are less than 90 degrees. Another thing that happens in an isosceles triangle is the sides opposite the equal. So this is a side and this is the side. These two sides are equal, so the angles opposite them will also be equal. So these two angles will also be equal. Okay, so this is my acute angle isosceles triangle. Okay, with sides 7 centimeters, and then we just marked 10 and 10 centimeters. We didn't need to do any measurements for angles. We had the three sides. When three sides are given, it's very easy to construct your triangle. Okay? Now let's come to acute angle scalene. So when you have all sides equal, it is equilateral. When two sides are equal, it is called isosceles. And when none of the sides are equal, when all the three sides are different, they are called scalene triangles. Okay. So let's look at this acute angle scalene, where all the angles are going to be acute and all the sides are going to be different. So let's make a straight line first. Mark a point. Cut out 10 centimeters. My base is going to be 10 and I have 10, 8 and 6. So these are my three sides. I have 10 centimeters. Let me check. Always check. Yes. So I'm going to mark off 10 centimeters. One side is done. Now I need 8 centimeters and 6 centimeters. So I will have to do it with the, because I don't know, isn't it, 8 centimeters, but then it has to match up with this 6 centimeters. So I have to find a place where these two match. Okay, this 8 centimeters and this 6 centimeters have to match somehow. How will I get that point? I will get it if I make one arc at 8 and this one arc at 6. Then I will get that point, right? So let me mark 8 centimeters now. So somewhere along this line where the 6 also meet will be my triangle. Let me look for where I will get a 6 centimeters. Here. This is the point where this becomes 8 and this becomes 6. So that's how we mark our sides. Okay, and we get a acute angle scalene triangle. Let's do this. So if the three sides are given, it's very easy to construct a triangle. So all the sides are different. So it's called a scalene triangle. All the sides are less than 90 degrees. So it is an acute angle. Acute angle scalene triangle is what we have here. Now let's come to right angle isosceles. Now remember, if you recall, isosceles means two sides are the same, right? And in a right angle triangle, only these two sides can be equal. You cannot have, the hypotenuse is going to be, the hypotenuse is the side opposite the 90 degrees is always going to be longer than the other two sides. So you can't have a hypotenuse and another side equal. Only these two sides can be equal. Okay, so this is how we are going to plan our right angled isosceles triangle. Okay, let's draw a straight line first. Mark out 10 centimeters. Mark a point here first, and from here I am going to mark 10 centimeters. So this is my base. Okay, 10 centimeters is done. So I am done with this part. Now over here I will need to construct 90 degrees. This gives me the direction out of which I will cut out 10 centimeters. Okay, so I have this was 10 centimeters, yes, and this is 10 centimeters. I'll cut this out. So I get these two sides equal and I get my 90 degrees. and I get a right angled isosceles triangle. Isosceles is two sides equal. So that's it. That's a right angled isosceles triangle. Where only one angle can be right angle in a triangle, because the total number of angles is 180. Only one angle can be 90. The other two will have to be smaller than 90, so that they add up to the other remaining 90 to make 180. That's how it works. Okay. So let's now do a right angle scalene. If you recall, scalene is a triangle where all the sides are different. None of the sides are equal, and one angle has to be right angle. So you get a right angle scalene triangle. Let's plan it out. So since it is a right angle, one side is 10 centimeters, one side is 7 centimeters, and we'll make a right angle over here. Let's begin. Draw a straight line, mark a point. We're going to cut out 10 centimeters. Let me check if I still have my 10 centimeters on my compass. Yes, I do. So I'm going to cut out 10 centimeters. Okay, I got my base. Now at this point I will need to construct a 90 degrees at this point, right? So let me place this dot on this and this line along this line. Once I'm done, I'm ready. Now I mark my 90 degrees. Just one dot, okay? Just one dot. Keep your pencils sharp. Keep lots of pencils ready. See, I have lots of pencils ready always. Now along this length I need to cut out 7 centimeters. So let me mark the 7 centimeters. I place it on 8, I have to put it on 1. So this gives me my 7 centimeters. Keep your pencil vertical like this always. Yeah? So I get my right angle and I get my 3 sides different. So I get a right angle scalene triangle. This is 10 centimeters, this is 7 centimeters. As long as all the 3 sides are different, we call it a scalene triangle, and then we have one angle, right angle. Now let's come to obtuse angles. What do you mean by obtuse? Obtuse is angles which are more than 90 degrees. So again, in a triangle you can have only one obtuse angle. You can have only one right angle and you can have only one obtuse angle. Acute angles can be, all three can be acute. Okay. So if one angle is going to be obtuse and the triangle is called isosceles, it means two sides are equal. So we are going to have these two sides equal and we are going to have this angle 120 degrees. Let's see how we do that. Draw a straight line first. Mark a point. Mark off 8.5 centimeters. So if I place on 1, I have to mark it at 9.5. I got my first base. Now over here I need to make an angle of 120 degrees. So I'll have to place this and I'll have to keep this along this line. So this is my first arm, so I'll have to start counting from here and I go 90, 100, 110, 120. You see how it opens up more beyond 90. Straight is 90, then it goes beyond, okay? So this gives me the direction of my 120 degrees. And out of this now I need to cut out 8.5 centimeters. I'm going to keep it at 9.5 and I'm going to mark it off at 1. So this gives me my obtuse angle isosceles. You remember this was also 8.5. So this is 8.5, this is 8.5. Two sides are equal. That makes this isosceles, and one angle is more than 90, so you get an obtuse angled isosceles triangle. Okay. Now let's go to obtuse angled scalene. Scalene is what? All sides are different. And then obtuse angle means the angle is more than 90. So let's see how we will do that. We have the base 8, one side 6, and the angle is 135. Let's see how we do that. Mark a straight line. Cut out 8 centimeters. I'm going to keep it more on this side. So I'm going to mark 8 centimeters. Now, so I have my base 8 centimeters. Now at this point I need to construct an angle of 135. I'll place this point along here and this line along this line, and then I will have to start counting from where the line is, because that is my first arm, right? So I go to 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, and between 130 and 140 is my 135. This gives me my direction. Single straight line, okay? And then we mark out 6 centimeters. So if I place it 7, I have to mark it out here. 1. And this gives me my here. So this is 8 and this is 6 and this angle is 135 degrees. So all the sides are different, so it is scalene. One angle is more than 90, so it is obtuse angle. Obtuse angle scalene triangle. This is how we construct your obtuse angle scalene triangle. So we have all the 7 different types of triangles constructed and ready. Okay, chop them off with your blades, your cutting blades, and stick them up on your, and make sure that they are centered on the card. Naima? Okay.